David Shepard?
Ron Hutchins, man. How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Man, welcome back. When did you get back in town?
Just this morning, actually.
Oh, yeah? What's the time difference between here and, where was it, Liberia?
Let's just say in Liberia right now it's past my bedtime.
Why aren't you in bed asleep?
Well, jet lag's got my body all wired, and I don't know if I'm coming or going, and it's just, I'm just figured I'd come out and catch some sun and do a little people watching.
Yeah. Well, how's it feel here in America after being gone for so long?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, it feels colder than I remember.
Well, that's what you get for living in Africa for 2 years.
Well, it's not so much the climate, it's just the people. It's less personal. Africa is different, man.
Yeah. Mr. Shepard, would you mind telling our listeners at home what you feel the biggest difference is between the people of Africa and the people here in the United States?
Do you really want me to speak in the water bottle?
Yes, please.
Well, Dr. Shepard, you see, the people in Africa are starving to the point of desperation.
And why do you feel that God is bringing revival there and not here?
Rob, the people in Africa are starving to the point of desperation. Have you ever seen a hungry man eat a bowl of food? It's primal, shameless. See, what I learned is real need knows no shame. When people in Africa cry out to God, it's like a child crying to his parents for food. And when they cry out, God shows up, man.
One more question. Who are you and what did you do with David Shepard?
Well, that's two questions.
You're right, it is. But man, something's different about you. I remember when the only thing you cared about was getting the high score on Candy Crush.
Yeah, there's that.
Well, so?
I met God, Rob.
Simple as that, huh?
If you call meeting God simple, then I guess so.
You met God. That's the only explanation you have for a 2-week mission trip turning into 2 years?
Tell you a story. So we go to Liberia, and what's happened when we get there, they've had about 3 months of drought. None of the crops came in. And so I'm there with a group, and we're digging these freshwater wells. And people would come up, and we're giving them fresh, clean, pure water, which is hard to come by there. And it's suffocating heat. It's backbreaking work. And yet they show up by the thousands. You can't stop. When you look across, you just see a sea of faces staring at you, wanting what you have. Here's what happened, Rob. It's towards the end of our trip, looking forward to coming home, tired. And a lady approaches me, and I go to hand her a jug of water, and she hands me instead a bundle of rags. And she starts screaming at me over and over again, the same thing. And I have no clue what she's saying, and an interpreter comes up, and he starts repeating her. Take him back to America. Take him back to America. Take him back to America. Rob, I look in my hands, and I'm holding her baby. I looked up to the skies, Rob. I literally screamed to the skies. God, do you not see what these people need? I said, I got a head full of Bible stories about this loving God. And this baby doesn't need Bible stories. This baby needs water. Rob, that's the first real prayer I've ever said in my life. And God answered me. He said, do you think that I don't see a sparrow falling to the ground? And so you think I don't see the people made in my very image, what they need? It struck me right then and there that, God's promise to us is to give us what we need. And as soon as I heard these words from God, a clap of thunder out of nowhere. And it starts pouring down rain. And hundreds of people, Rob, hundreds, dancing in this rain and the mud and the muck like it's a huge party. You call it coincidence, you call it fate, you call it whatever. But God spoke to me that day. Jesus looked me right in the eyes, Rob, and he ruined me. He absolutely ruined me. And I hadn't looked back since.